All right, the holidays can be cruel to our stomachs. Rich, fattening, sugar-laden foods fill up our bellies, but we usually pay for that overeating at some point during the holidays. Dr. Reena Chokshi, a gastroenterologist at the UConn Health Center, is here now to tell us how to avoid tummy troubles during the holiday season. First, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And second, you know, we're all, by and large, going to experience something if we eat any of these foods. Talk to us about why that is.
So there's probably a combination of factors that come in during the holidays. The first, as you mentioned, what we're eating and how we're eating it. These rich in fat foods, eating large portions over the course of the holidays, those things put a tremendous amount of pressure on our abdomens, and they can cause GI distress and also increase the chance that we have acid reflux or heartburn. And
talk about how that works, because you're thinking, okay, you know, once I eat the food, typically it's through the throat area, but that's where the GI, the acid reflux problems really happen.
Right. Acid reflux is an extremely common condition. It occurs when the stomach acid is flowing back up into the esophagus or the swallowing tube. Lots of patients complain of this problem. They have heartburn, reflux-related other symptoms like chest pain and cough.
And it's not just the food that brings on acid reflux. It's also a lot of times the position of your body after you eat and things like stress. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. The holidays are a really stressful time. Stress by itself can increase GI symptoms. We also tend to intake a little more alcohol, which can be an irritant to the stomach and intestinal lining. Both of those things are big problems, but limiting those factors, making sure to put in a little bit of water with the wine can also be helpful.
And also peppermint, right? What's the deal with peppermint? I've always heard that.
So there are certain foods that can trigger reflux-related symptoms. Peppermint is one. Other ones include chocolate, caffeine, tomatoes, onions, and citrus. And those types of things are important to avoid, including making sure we moderate the size and fat content of our meals as well.
And you hit so many of those big-ticket items you just mentioned during the holiday season.
Absolutely.
Now talk about lack of fiber. It was on your list that you gave us here, and it got me thinking, you know, typically during the holiday season, you eat a lot of meats, a lot of cheeses, not necessarily, in most cases, a lot of salads and roughage. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Fruits and vegetables tend to go away during the holiday season, so it's important to remember that can affect a lot of GI complaints, including your bowel troubles as well. So doing things like having a healthy salad or a light lunch instead of just having these meals all the time can be helpful.
We're putting a lot of the information up on the screen, sort of the big ticket items. Make trade-offs in what you eat. Compensate, eat consciously, eat slowly, limit alcohol, and move. Typically, a lot of times we're sitting back after a meal and we just sit there. That's not the best thing to do.
As you mentioned before, the times that we experience heartburn the most are after meals as well as when we lie down. So don't give in to that urge to lie down after a big dinner. Get up and move. Go for a walk with your family.
Lastly, antacids, do you agree with those as a doctor, or do you want something more?
So some antacids can be helpful, especially for occasional symptoms. There are a lot of over-the-counter options for patients these days. The important thing to remember with that is if these problems are getting more severe, more frequent, then it might be time to talk to your doctor.
Dr. Chokshi, great advice. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday season, and thank you for helping out all of our viewers to have better holiday season.